Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fridays at 4 on twitch.tv/DDO I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and I'm going to be with you for the next hour, just hanging out on what's been a pretty busy week after a week off of work for me. Uh, Not so much on the DDO side. We had, however, last week, the release of Update 73. I was not here last Friday to do that. So we'll talk a little bit about Update 73 and what we have happening next week related to it. We do have a small game update next week as well. And we'll have plenty of time for your Q&A. Should be a pretty casual show and fairly light on news, with just a couple of exceptions that let me go and get to now. If it changes. Here we go. Yes. There we are. All right. So I wanted to mention, related to Update 73, that next week our new dungeon, the first dungeon in the Tavern Tales pack, actually gets released. You can find the release notes. This happened, a week ago Wednesday now, for the release of Update 73. Today, I'm going to be running Dinosaur Crisis. This is the free quest that's open to everybody. It's just free, and you can find it in the Stormreach Harbor, kind of up the steps from the docks down there. And Toil and Trouble debuts on Wednesday. This one's going to be in the King's Forest. And you'll speak with Jara Morand in Evening Star near the gate to King's Forest to get started on that one. Dinosaur Crisis, the quest we're running today, is level 13 on Heroic difficulty, 28 on Epic difficulty. I happen to have a level 13 right now on Cormyr, so we're going to run it on Heroic, get all that good Heroic XP, and then, the one next week is actually much lower. It's actually, gosh, I think it's got to be our lowest level quest in Evening Star, does it not? Toil and Trouble, level 5, level 28 on Epic. And then, every 2 weeks thereafter, we have 2 more quests that are going to debut. Covered Culvert on April 30th, and then May 14th, Sleeping with the Fishes. And you can find all that over on DDO.com for our Update 73 release notes. And you can also read the other stuff that I'm just kind of quickly scrolling by, bug fixes and what have you. Since this is now a little bit of older information, it isn't worth going through on the show here today. The other bit of news, though, I wanted to call out, if you're here just for the news, and that's fine, I don't have anything to put up on the screen, but we will early next week. And that is, I am basically ready to announce our PAX East community meetup. So, Friday, May 9th, 6 to 9 p.m. Eastern. It's going to take place at the Harpoon Brewery in the Boston Seaport, right where it was last year. If you went last year, it's the same place. Harpoon Brewery. We got it. We got it on a Friday night even. Friday, 6 to 9 p.m. It's a pretty good time slot to be having the Harpoon Brewery, basically just right down the way from the convention center. You don't need a PAX East badge to be in attendance. You can just be a DDO player, be close enough or willing to drive enough or whatever to be a part of this if you want to. We're going to be somewhat light on the swag, I think, this year, but we do have something that we'll have. And some good giveaways. And if you know what we did last year, it'll be somewhat similar to that, except I think we're going to have a little more food this time around. And good times, too. It's not a combo thing this year either with the other games. Last year was also with EverQuest and EverQuest 2. They're not going to be there this year, so it's just going to be an SSG thing. But it's going to be at the same location at the Harpoon Brewery, Friday, May 9th, 6 to 9 p.m. You will need to RSVP. It should be fine in terms of numbers. I don't have the RSVP link yet. I'm in the process of getting the final copy locked down and then published probably on Monday. And so on Monday or whenever this is announced, you'll see it on the forums and the website and social media, and it'll be in the Discord and what have you. There'll be a link to RSVP, and you'll basically say, I think we're going to need something like your party name, the number of people in the party, the names of the people in the party. And the reason we do that is to make sure that people aren't registering under different parties, because that happens, and we want to make sure we can get as many people in as we can. So something like name of your party, number of people in your party, names of the people, are you a DDO, Locho, or both person, and what if we need to get in touch with you, like text or something like that, for day of, and that'll be the RSVP, and then we'll kick that to the venue with enough time to do everything we got to do. Harpoon Brewery, I believe, is 21 plus, and that's is by Massachusetts law, not really something we have control over. But I believe that is the case, so I do think you need to be 21 in order to be able to enter. That's cool, though. We got Friday night. We're not actually doing a presentation at PAX East this year. We did the prior 2 years, and they were really fun. And as a matter of fact, the thing you'll be seeing today with a certain monster is straight from last year's PAX East community vote. So, but this year, it's community meetup. And it's at the Harpoon Brewery on Friday. The only other bit of news, I guess, before I would get in game, other than your questions, is this is our... Let me make sure I've got my information correct. Yeah, so this is our final weekend for free access to Cormier. And next Wednesday, when we bring the worlds down, we're going to reopen, and it'll remain a VIP server for now. There's a bunch of things we could do with Cormier, and we're just about ready to make those decisions. However, as you well know, we're planning to open some new 64-bit game worlds soon. And we'll have more information on the timing of that, maybe a little later this year. And as soon as we have that timing to announce, it only makes sense to include Cormier in those considerations. So what we're going to do is leave Cormier a VIP experience for now, and those who are interested can continue to have that VIP access experience. And whether it remains that, we move people off it. I don't know why we would do that, but maybe we would do that. I can't think of a reason we would, but let's just say we did. There's a bunch, we could open it up to free access. There's a bunch of things we could do. So, but we want to make sure that it doesn't really make sense to do that and then do the transfers. It makes sense to do the transfers with it, or at the very least do the transfers, then figure out what Cormier should be. And so we'll probably do something like that. That would be my expectation. So just for a little while here, until we're ready to really move forward on the rest of those things, it makes sense to just keep Cormier as a VIP place. However, the Lanterns of the Mist event, that is not changing. The Lanterns of the Mist event will be going away after Wednesday, or once we bring the worlds down on Wednesday for the weekly restart, which in this case will actually be a patch 73.1. So claim your stuff, get your stuff, do your stuff this weekend if you're interested. You've got a few days yet, but you got a few days yet. Okay. We are also doing our Year of the Dragon catch-up. That is... Okay, no, actually, this is... Yeah, so this Wednesday was the Armor of the Dragon cult. And so that means this final week here is from Wednesday, from the 17th to the 24th, 23rd, 24th, is going to be the Dragon Disciple. And then we've wrapped up the Year of the Dragon catch-up as well over on Cormier. So... The other thing I would point out, if you're aware of the schedule, we have a VIP program update to do, and that is going to be ready to go within the next couple of weeks. The program started in May of last year, so we're just about ready to have everyone go through the existing calendar, and we're ready to show you what year 2 is going to look like for the VIP loyalty reward program. And work is underway on that copy, and that should be out within the next couple of weeks, probably. Something like that. So, all right. Someday, perhaps, we could get rid of the expiration mechanic altogether for the Maybar Festival. It's one of those things that design and player want don't always match up. One of the reasons the Maybar Festival is able to be supported like it is every year is because those ingredients expire. And as much as players would like to say that, no, we'll enjoy the festival every year if you just let us earn us all the currency we'll ever need, and then just every year when you release new stuff, go to the vendor and buy it in 5 minutes, and then we're done, and we don't have to worry about the rest of the year. But that's what actually happens. So you have to have some kind of system in place, either where you're debuting new ingredients for new items or expiring ingredients like we chose to do for Maybar, rather than have a permanent bloat of ingredients, which is the other option. So, I mean, that's a bit of the design reality. If you want to be able to support an event like that long term, it's a thing that you do need to consider when you're doing that kind of development work. Anything new on Wednesdays in the future? Why, yes, we're going to have the new quest come out. Next one is next Wednesday. Then 2 Wednesdays after that will be the third one, or second one of the quest pack. And then the 2 Wednesdays after that will be the third one of the Tavern Tales quest pack. So that'll absolutely be happening. I mean, it's true. I think you could make a case that maybe people will run Maybar every year just for the XP because it is kind of OP good. But still, the point remains. And you're right. And another option you could do is have a permanent reward vendor so that even if you come back in July, you can get your October stuff. And that is something that we could potentially do in the future by separating out the rewards vendor from the event tech. Am I the secret love child of Dave Grohl and Kevin Smith? Well, I mean, no, no, but no is the answer because I'm as old as they are. But I get it. I get it. Will the meetup be DDO and Lotro? Yes, it'll be all of our games. It'll be a Standing Stone Games meetup. Oh no, you're right. Okay. If you count Wayloon, Follow the Night Brigade, level 4, and that's one that we did within, the past year or so. Well, that means there's a couple of quests you can run now in Evening Star, because level 5 should be pretty easy, I would think, on Heroic. Will the quest bundle for all those new quests be available next week, or only the individual purchasing option? What is... So I was on vacation last week. I may have been doing some posting, but for the most part, I was on vacation last week, so I wasn't actually here for the release day of Update 73. I was of the impression the Tavern Tales quest bundle is already came with launch in the DDO store, so you could buy it right now if you want to. And then the quest will debut as individual to purchase options, and then you'll get a little discount for just buying them all up front. But if you don't want to do that, if maybe you're just picking up using some free points or whatever to pick it up, then you could just do that individually as well when they release. But I believe the bundle is already available, is it not? Has the meetup plan for PAX East been determined? Yep, let me repeat that as I get inside of the game. And also, let me make sure I'm not back to character. I'm not. Okay. Yes. To reiterate, the PAX East details. We'll be meeting on Friday, May 9th, and it's going to be at the Harpoon Brewery at the Boston Seaport where it was last year, but if you don't know where that is, it's basically kind of down the way from the convention center. It's a bit of a walk, but not that bad. It's one of the closest kind of breweries and restaurants to the convention center outside of the ones that are like in the hotels themselves. So it's a real big feature if you're kind of over down by that area. And it's the Harpoon Brewery. And we are going to be doing RSVPs, and you'll be able to RSVP when the formal announcement is made on the website and the forums and elsewhere. And I need to just set up that work to do the RSVP survey. And the point of that is a way to gather emergency contact information if we need to get in touch with the parties who are registering. We also need to get a head count to the venue. And so that's what that RSVP is mostly about, is they need a head count, and they need to make sure that we're aware of, say, capacity limits and things like that. It's all part of the formal requirement to do something like this. Thankfully, we do not have to fight dinosaurs at the Harpoon Brewery. At least the last I checked. However, the same cannot be said for the poor coin lords, who are overrun with dinosaurs, and nobody's willing to do anything about it. Talk to House Deneath. House Deneath says, talk to the city guard. The city guard says, we'll take care of it. And then all they sent are these useless trainees. I, however, am not a useless trainee. I am a useless real person. I'll bet you can keep your head. Come with me to the jungle, and maybe we can stop the dinosaur horde before it ends up in the marketplace. What? Dinosaurs? I've gone into the jungle of Stormreach a whole bunch, and I ain't never seen no dinosaur. That's because the dinosaurs normally stay clear of Stormreach. Zendrik's a big continent. It's not like every single thing is in it is right at the city's doorstep. But for some reason, dinosaurs from the deep jungle have formed a horde, and that horde is moving on a path that's going to take it straight to Stormreach. I think there's a little house at the prairie. No, I'm kidding. There'll be here in a day or two if we don't stop them. Even if they don't make it into the city itself, they'll wreak havoc on the farms outside, not to mention the farmers. Maybe it's natural? Migratory patterns, instincts, circle of life, that kind of thing. They are questioning my dinosaur knowledge. Yes, some of these dinosaurs do in fact migrate, but they don't normally migrate anywhere near the city. Also, the horde is made up of all kinds of different dinosaurs, like carnivores and herbivores, big and small. The only factor they have is they all belong to dangerous species. This isn't normal. There's something or someone behind it. Figure it out. We're going to go to the horde gathering place and sort things. And I thought maybe I'd actually run it a couple of times on stream here today, so we're going to start easy, going on hard, and then we'll bump it up to elite. Diplomacy, you're right. The Stormreach City Guard never considered the diplomacy option, did they? Maybe they could just talk to the dinosaurs. Maybe they just want to be friends. Here we are, using denigrating language to describe them. This is where the dinosaur horde was reported. I've cast a tracking ritual to help you find them. It'll be up to you to stop them while I stay here inside this ward and maintain the ritual. Come back when you're done to claim your reward. Be careful, they're acting strange. And there will be bits on the map here.
You step out of the camp. From deeper in the wilderness, you can hear high-pitched shrieks and deep roars. The dinosaur horde must be nearby.
Can I say roughly when we'll see 64-bit worlds for DDO? It doesn't seem... I wouldn't want to give that kind of guess right now. The more I set expectation that isn't yet formally known, you know, it's not like we know and it's 100% lock and we're just keeping it from you because whatever. Right? I mean, there's things that are in process, and depending on the timing of that, other steps in the process will proceed, and then At some point, once you get further enough along, you're like, all right, looks like it's probably, like, we could do this in a couple weeks, or a month, or whatever. And then we would be in a position to say, okay, so let's announce on something like a Monday or whatever what it's going to be. And then that'll be 30 days out, or 15, or whatever we end up doing. Probably something like 30 days. Generally good timing. But until we get to a point that, you know, giving a time would make sense, anything I'd say would at best be, well, I'm sure glad that actually happened. And in worst case, it'd be, Cordovan promised it was going to happen in whatever month. And then, no, I didn't. I had no idea whether it would happen in whatever month. That was kind of where we thought maybe we'd land back when I said it. But, you know, I mean, you know, so. So I think really the timing I would want to say is it is absolutely planned for later this year. And whether that later ends up being maybe something like a couple months from now, or maybe a little longer, will be determined by processes that are just not known yet. So.
You can hear the sound of something crashing through the underbrush nearby. Time to deal with more of this dinosaur incursion.
Oh, I keep forgetting. I've got this Eldritch Ball that I picked up since the last time we were hanging out. I want to give this thing a try. It's not bad. Yeah, I think on, as you're seeing here with Cormir, and I think as many have experienced, things are looking pretty good, are they not, for the 64-bit world? I mean, there's always more work to do, and I think especially, for example, on the Lord of the Rings Online side, we have spent a lot of the last, really since early March, focusing on playing Whack-A-Mole and making significant progress and improving their game performance experience as well. And I know that we've also identified things through this process on the DDO side to work on. You know, some of the work that Torque did recently related to player detection under certain stealth conditions springs to mind, of improvements that we've been able to identify and make, not just because of the existence of the 64-bit worlds, but because of the work that we have done since their launch to identify and squash various causes of lag and other deleterious game performance. So basically what I'm saying is, we fix lag forever. No one, if you're experiencing it, it's probably just you. I'm clearly not saying that, for the record. Why do I do this to myself on a Friday? You know, Cordovan, you didn't have to poke him in the eye. I didn't mean to. I was just joking. No, but I think we're seeing improvement, and we will continue to see improvement. But we're also going to, you know, see issues in like raids and other things that are areas that we can identify and make further resolution on. So, and we are going to see some good things. I feel very strongly that we will be seeing some real good things when the 64-bit worlds come to DDO here. Okay, I've got one more guide to find. Let me see. Oh, there we go. Will they definitely come by the end of this year? I would think so. I would think so. I suppose, you know, having said that, I could now jinx us and something could come up. But I would be surprised if it wasn't ready to go. I mean, that just seems likely. So. Yay. All right. Oh, thank you for bringing that up. So, Tavern Tales is doing a top villain bracket, sort of March Madness style bracket, and it is turned out to be really fun. So, if you want to get in on that, you can watch. It's the Tuesday night show here on DDO Stream, Tavern Tales. 9 p.m. is the trivia, but before that is the regular show. And yeah, they're going through monster bracket. I don't want to jinx it, and I don't want to unduly influence the vote. I've been keeping an eye on the forum thread, and I would say I largely agree with the community in terms of the potential likely outcome. But we'll see. We'll see. I feel like perhaps Lady Vol got a little bit of a short shrift here in bracket 1. But, you know, it's ultimately not just my opinion, it's what everyone feels, and okay. If the community in general feels that I can't remember who beat Lady Vol in that bracket, but I remember reading that and going, Will Jacoby Drexelhand beat Vecna? Vecna is going to be a tough one to beat, but the community is saying militia. I'm seeing a lot of forum chatter saying militia. Milicia. And I think Milicia is a very likely pick for a bunch of reasons, including just historical prevalence. People have always liked Milicia in game. And she's developed a real cool story and reputation and everything. So, and here's the Etten. Okay, so this is what at the PAX East panel last year, there was a room vote on monsters to develop, and then this is the debut of the Etten here. So,
the shaman dies.
Zoljax, we don't want that, do we? Do people really want the development team to adjust certain dialogue in stopping the Sahalgan? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say that would be a very sad day were that to be forever deleted from this game. But ultimately, maybe I'm wrong. You tell me. Yeah, I haven't. Well, you know what? We can do that. We can put up the bracket here now that we're at the end of the quest. And we go take a look at the loot and go find it. We're just going to put up this bracket. I can find it on the forums quick enough. Or can I? Here we go. Tavern Tales Tournament of Villains. Top villain on DDO. Next several weeks, vote on face-offs and single elimination bad guy slugfests. Who will be victorious? And unfortunately, the image is not going to load The image is not loading. Oh, here we go. I'm just going to save the image and put it up. So, again, this is the Tavern Tales tournament. Vecna versus Jacoby Drexelhand. Well, gosh, I hope I know who's going to win that. Lady Vol and Zugtmoy. Okay, well, so people like Zugtmoy. I think I like Lady Vol. Vela, Master of the Hunt. I'm not going to make a guess on that. I think I know. Eritrikos, Tovin Kenneth, Harry. I mean, come on. Storm Reaver and Yalthun. That's a tough bracket right off the top, isn't it? Wow, only one of them's going to be able to go on? Setting up a showdown right away. That's going to be an episode to watch. Lucian Vaunt and Death's Teeth. Death's Teeth wins. Okay. Can see that. Truthful One and Militia. Say we already discussed how I feel the community is going to vote on Militia. Sulamatis and Droic Urgul. Volkir and Droic Urgul. Alright. And then, over on the other side, Strahd and Caraptus. Oof. Oglarasa beat Korkasa. Okay. Hirsum beat General Horoth. The demon army's taking a beating in this tournament, aren't they? Except for Harry, of course, but, you know. Look how that turned out. Lolth and Shade Wizard Tyvis. Gosh, I would assume Lolth's going to win that one. Sorjek and the Ghost Flame, and Sorjek won. Queen Laylot and Baba Lysaga. That's going to be a tough one. And then the Five Fangs of... I can't read that. Sothtar and Warforged Titan. Warforged Titan wins. Okay. You can see how this bracket's going to go. That's going to be Tuesday nights. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love it. I think Yalthun is a strong candidate for making it high up in the list. Any plans to rework randomly generated loot? Seeing a chance of items with sun slots would be cool. I think that system is intended to be retained into the named item system. As soon as it can show up in random loot, it changes a lot of things related to sustainability of that system. Not that you couldn't do it, though, like you state. I haven't heard of any plans to do that. But in general, you know, as we're doing the level cap increases here in the coming years, that'll be changes to base loot, and those are also often perhaps an opportunity to make some further adjustments as needed. Solar Gem and Dexterity, huh? Maybe not this character, but then again, I'll take it. I'll take it. I mean, can you imagine? It's going to be hard, though, because if you think about that bracket, let's just say you end up with Yalthun, Militia, Strahd, and I don't know, whoever. Lolth. That's a pretty tough bracket. I don't think there's a one answer on that one. Yes, the Etten is debuting in this quest, but we will see Ettens further. Nurse Ratchet. Well, I mean, Kratos definitely gets my vote. And honestly, I would actually say Lord of Stone is a personal favorite as well, but I think we all know that. But I like the bracket as it stands. I think it's a solid bracket, so, you know, it's all good. I mean, one person's going overboard with it could also be seen as another person's using the thing we just spent a bunch of money on. So, you know, if you're a dungeon developer and you finally got a new monster to play with, you probably want to use it. You know, that's just how it goes. There's nothing wrong with that. And then sometimes, in the case of course, something like an Isle of Dread, where we would debut dinosaurs, not that long ago, what, a couple of years ago now, it obviously makes sense to have lots of dinosaurs in your dinosaur island. Oh, hey, speaking of this chest here, our DDO bonus days is Double Mysterious Remnants, and that's through Sunday. That gives you twice the chance for doing what just happened here, which is getting a Remnant chest drop when you defeat Remnants. Or in the case where it just drops, I think they're all in chests, right? They're all in chests. Elminster is a villain. Well, I can see that. I can see a case being made. Sure.
Some kind of ritual. Perhaps defeating them will disrupt the dinosaur
But
horde.
best top villain? Nah. I think a top villain. I think it's pretty solid list of top villains. I might personally put Kratos in there or Lord of Stone in there. I mean, we've got a couple of other real good options too, but. But I mean, you know, Vecna, Strahd, solid picks, solid picks. I'll keep forgetting to use my new toy, which is this new Eldritch Ball, because I was able to unlock Tier 5 of the enhancement tree. Dump a few points into it here since last we meet. Oh, it only takes 2? Oh, that's nice and easy. Maybe I should swap that over to something more regular then. Right, so I remember when the raid was being built for Anna and the pathing of that. And it does use, if I recall, basically a system that is very different from the way something like that would be done perhaps today. So I think you could go back and do work there, but I also think that you would pretty quickly find yourself redoing the raid. And in terms of scope of work, that really would make it not sustainable. Gifting items is always a tricky conversation. Everyone has great reasons for wanting to do it. And the main reason not to do it is that as soon as that kind of system is in place, you have a not insignificant, in fact very important, consideration of fraud and vectors of attack and things like that. Not just for fraudulent purchases, but for people's account security in that as well. That as soon as certain mechanisms are possible, then certain actions become more likely. And that plays into it as well. A lot of people want to, you know, grab those accounts, particularly if they could then, you know, strip the account and dump everything off it into another thing through some kind of gifting program. It's the sad reality of doing that kind of work. Have we decided the new server's name? I don't think so yet. We are on a list of names. There was a vote going out before I was out of the office last week where it was like, hey, here's a list of names. Just put a star next to the ones you think are particularly cool, and then we'll start narrowing it down from there. And I haven't really followed up on it since, because I was mostly out last week, and then this week just been busy on other things. But, yeah. So I would say it's in process. It's certainly in process. I just don't know what it is yet. Oh, I was reading chat, not even looking at my own hit points. Dude, can this... No, yeah, you can res. Okay. There we go. Okay, let me actually pay attention to my hit points then. I would be down for calling it Zoriat again. I think historically there's always sort of a... People don't like to name servers after servers that already existed. It just doesn't feel right to some people, and I guess I can understand that. But calling it Zoriat would be pretty sweet, wouldn't it? I agree.
You've dispatched another group of dinosaurs. Yet a terrifying roar from nearby makes it clear that the battle is not yet won.
Why can I not remember the... Arenal. That's where I originally loaded into the game back in 2006, was Arenal. And that was a really cool server, too. But I still think Zoriat's a great name for a world, so... If we wanted to bring back Zoriat, got my vote. But, you know, Zoriat also already existed, and it might not be right to do that, so... Maybe we should find something else to call it. The new Zoriat. New Zoriat. People did that all the time. We're in the United States. Do you know how many new name of European city names of towns there are around here? New Bedford. What'd you do to the old one? Etc. Ooh, that's a hit. Here, I can get some of my hit points back here.
savor your victory, but are instantly interrupted by a deep, booming voice.
What's this? What's happened to my army?
I can't believe it's not Kuiper. Oh, okay, well, I guess we're gonna just do this then. And lantern fight, go. Okay. Uh-oh. Do not be the knock-it down. Alright.
The shaman dies. With him dies his mad plan to attack Stormreach with a dinosaur army. Time to tell Regina that the threat is over.
Ooh. Alright, well, that worked. I guess I don't need to really rest up, because we're done here. Do hardcore servers again in the future. We'll be doing something later this year that's not really a hardcore server, but it'll be a little bit of a hardcore-like mechanic. And I think you'll enjoy that if you're into the hardcore thing. Solar Gem of Tactical DCs. These are the heroic versions. It's only a +1, but you know. Okay. Oh, should be able to do this one more time here. How many corgis are in the human suit we know as Cordovan? Last I checked, I was corgi-free. As far as I am aware, I am not made of corgi. I like corgis. I think corgis are cute little dogs. I think they're cool. I have nothing against corgis. But I don't think I'm a corgi. I don't know what it would be if I was a dog. Maybe I'd be a corgi. Why not? But I think I'm more likely to be a cat, to be honest. Well, should I try it? All right. Well, that's level 15. Well, yeah, well, let's do it. Do it! I saw that in the release notes for this next week here. It's going to teleport you to the right place. I'm at least... Oh, raccoon. I could be a raccoon. I wouldn't mind being a raccoon. Well, I probably would, actually. I bet it would really suck to be a raccoon. But it seems like it would be kind of fun. Hanging around. I could do that. Yes, this is live on the game world as of last week's release of Update 73. This is a free quest. You don't have to do anything in order to play it. Just go to the harbor and pick it up. Starting next week, we're going to be releasing the first of a series of quests that are associated with the Tavern Tales quest bundle. And then every 2 weeks, we're going to be releasing the latest quest. You can just buy the bundle at a discount versus what you'd pay for them separate, or you can just pick it up a la carte. And although this particular quest pack is really just a series of, you know, individual standalone quests with really, as an overarching theme, just the existence of Tavern Tales and such as their connecting fiber, the concept of this sort of thing, having a quest bundle that we could unlock over time, is something that we could do in the future for maybe a little more longer form storytelling, which is really where the idea of this kind of thing got its impetus. It was like, well, what if we, rather than just doing one quest pack, let's just say, what if someday we did a story that we told over the course of a year or something like that. Maybe we could do it like that instead. And so this is, I'm not promising that we'll ever do that, but in terms of what we could do with this kind of thing, some of the idea is, well, quest packs work, that's fine, but what if we wanted to do something that was maybe a little more ambitious, but more than you could really do within, say, one development cycle, perhaps, or something like that. And that's what the idea is. So, and yes, I just died. I am on Reaper here at this point, so maybe this is a really bad idea. I tie in with Tavern Tales and Tavern Tales. Not directly, although I'm actually considering stealing some... Oh, there's my Reaper. Okay. I'm actually considering one element of the title for perhaps future DDO stream use once the relevancy... You know what? This is just going to die. Let me redo this. This is a bad idea. It was a terrible idea. Why did I do that? I guess I haven't logged, I guess I haven't ported back in a while. Wow, it's all a bad dream. Let's go to Stormreach. How much is the bundle? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think it's anything out of line with a typical quest pack, though. It's about the same. Any new streamers coming up soon? Why, yes. I believe that would be you, if I'm not mistaken. You want to actually drop a link into chat or something like that? Just kind of talk a little bit about what you got going on with your show. I have been crazy busy the past week. That's the only reason I haven't followed up with you to actually get you on the calendar and such. But we're a go on that. So, and I think you've already done your stream, right? Oh, you need the mod sword too? Well. There you go. Tavern Tales Adventure Pass, 475 DDO points. What Tolero posted on the forums. Great. But yes, we do have at least you, and I believe one other streamer I know has expressed interest that I haven't gotten back to yet. But yeah, I would expect to see some new streams and streamers, and I do want to run the new raid as well. I've just been a bit busy to really get comfortable behind the scenes with it enough to want to show it off on stream, but that'll happen here too. But today, as long as I've not shown the new quest here, I thought we would just really use this show as just kind of a hangout, fun time, run the new quest, see if I can get any loot lucks, any hey I'm on the air loot lucks. Although I've gotten 2 solar augments already, so hey, not too bad. But I demand more, so we're going to give this another run on Elite and see if I can pull a sweet name item. Yep, trivia of the week, community build-a-thon, some other ideas. And remind me on the time of your show. If I recall, last we checked was Sunday? Sunday, right? Am I correct on that? A squirrel-themed patron's coffer? Well, that... If I get to decide what our future patrons' coffers are, I would... Yes. Yes. On a squirrel-themed patron's coffer. I am with you.
An ogre chants beneath a magical totem, conducting some kind of ritual.
I mean, it might be a little nuts.
Dinosaur horde.
Get it? Get it? Squirrel? Nuts? Yeah, okay. Definitely an idea that we can store away for the future. Ooh, a moose mount in the squirrel pack? Oh, such good ideas. Such good ideas. I mean, we have nibbles. So we should definitely have a squirrel creature companion and such. Maybe we could come up with some kind of squirrel dance, and it could include a new dance emote. Something like that. That'd be fun. No, I think as it relates to the Patron's Coffer of the Sands, we focused on the Ravenloft campaign setting side of that. As it exists in the license under the Ravenloft campaign setting. So our focus for the Black Rose was really in alignment with the lore that we have access to on the Ravenloft side. Rather than, say, being maybe a hint to come of adding a new campaign setting or something like that. That remains, frankly, as somewhat unlikely as ever. Really due to the intricacies of that particular license, I think. At least last I heard.
You've defeated the swarm of small but deadly creatures. Yet you can hear the sound of something crashing through the underbrush nearby.
I'm gonna
Time to deal with more of this dinosaur incursion.
use the shrine here. I'm running a few minutes over, but that's fine. I started a few minutes late here today, and I'm close enough to this quest. It'll be done in a short period of time. And my cleric's okay. And actually, I've been setting this person on defend. I'm going to set the rogue to attack, just to help with some of the trash. A scurry of squirrels creature companion? Yes. We should also unfix the bug in the King's Forest where the squirrels can attack you, and then release that as a separate instance under Squirrel Assault or something like that instead of Kobold Assault. And then the idea is you have to guard a giant pile of food of some sort that squirrels might enjoy, and hundreds of squirrels will be attempting to say, no thank you. Yeah, maybe you would just be trapping them or something like that. You'd be petting them, and then by petting them, they decide they no longer want to. Petting them with your axe. But you're really good at it, so it doesn't hurt them at all. Oof. Good going, cleric. Saving my behind there. Okie dokie.
You tremble before the cold gaze of High Fang Oleth. He unsheaths his bow, cocks his head toward the jungle. He has no words to waste on a poacher, but he'll give you a head start for sport.
Yeah, the weapon receives a special enchantment. And we've honestly done, non-lethal damage. It's perfectly a concept within Dungeons & Dragons. Yeah, maybe a little hand-wavy and reality if you're playing authentic medieval warfare, but, it's a video game. And if you just want to knock someone out, you can do it. So.
You've dispatched another group of dinosaurs. Yet a terrifying roar from nearby makes it clear that the battle is not yet won.
Oh, I didn't think that was going to work. I webbed this dinosaur. A vorpal chipmunk mount. I think that's a great idea. Or it could be a giant squirrel combat hireling. Sort of like the snowy owlbear or something, but squirrel giant, and it could be like a barbarian. No. It can be a... It could be a dragon fist. Well, it's true. You wouldn't want to get too much into the, stepping on the toes of the Baldur's Gate thing. But DDO has certainly established nibbles and squirrels as large enemies and friends and things. And so, I think we'd be within our right to tap into that.
You pause to savor your victory.
All right,
But are
just about
instantly
done here.
interrupted by a deep, booming voice.
What's
That-
this? What's happened to my army?
That Eldritch Ball's working pretty good.
The shaman dies.
Nice.
With him dies his mad plan to attack Stormreach with a dinosaur army. Time to tell Regina that the threat is over.
An updated producer letter like Lotro soon. It's a little different on the Dungeons and Dragons Online side, in that on the DDO side, we haven't really done the same kind of commitment to quarterly letters, but we will be seeing an update later this year, I would imagine, to the producer's letter, because we do have things to talk about that weren't referenced in it that, we talked about. So yes is the answer, but it's not on the same kind of formal schedule that the lead system designer, Orion, has committed himself to for the letter to the players. Different group, different timetable. Another Solar Gem of Tactical DCs. Well, okay, I guess I got plenty of those. Not that I need a +1 to my Tactical DC. Okay, well, no named loot. No named loot today. Just a couple of Solar Augments. The Dexterity one I'll potentially use. Maybe less so the Tactical DC one. But that's fine. And I think that's going to wrap up the show. So it's been nice to be back with you here. Wasn't here last week. I will be back next Friday as well. We'll run the new quest next Friday. And then soon, too, I'll be doing some raiding here on this channel. We'll run the new raid. We also do have a patch set for next week and potentially one after that, as needed for update 73, and then we're full steam ahead on 74. Our 64-bit servers, and a whole lot more happening in DDO in the coming months. So, thanks for watching. If you're watching on YouTube, giving us a like and a subscribe is the best way to get this show supported. And if you're watching on Twitch, you're the reason we're here, because it's all your chatter that drives this show. So, hope you have a great DDO weekend, everyone. Oh, also, if you're celebrating Record Store Day in the United States, don't take my records. But otherwise, I hope you have a really great one. Have fun, everyone. Talk to y'all again soon. Bye-bye.